Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Mercedes and this is The Frugal Life with Mercedes. Today we are going to talk about why everybody should have a stockpile. I'm going to try to keep this short, sweet, and to the point, but if you've been with me for a long time, you know that probably won't happen, so stay tuned. I've been telling you guys for years, like since the beginning, that you have to have a stockpile. Now, I said in a previous video that I do not consider myself a prepper, but I like to be prepared. And I see a difference between the two, and I'm not saying being a prepper is a bad thing. I just don't think that I fit into that mold specifically. And we can get into that in another video, the differences to me. But essentially, I see preparedness as a savings account. So when you are on your journey of debt-free, there's a lot of, basically everybody says that before you're debt-free or after you're debt-free, you should have at least 3 to 6 months emergency fund in cash. That is for job loss, death, breakup of a relationship, whatever, it's there. And I see having things in your house the same way. I would suggest a 3 to 6 month stockpile. Now, I have shown you guys my stockpile. It is not crazy by any means, but if something happened, I know that Brandon and myself would be okay. So those things include food that we actually eat that has a shelf life. Toilet paper, laundry detergent, body wash, shampoo, toothpaste. Whether you need to start couponing or shopping at a discount store or doing it little by little, well, I would suggest doing it little by little. But if you're going to be paying full price, definitely be doing it little by little, getting a little bit here and there. I'm not talking about panic buying. I'm not talking about doomsday preppers, anything like that, unless that's your thing. That's cool. But I'm just talking about for like regular Joe, 3 to 6 month supply of stuff, if you can manage it. And I've said again for years when I show you guys my coupon stockpile, this is not built overnight. Okay, there are thousands upon thousands of channels on YouTube that show you how to prep either for a apocalyptic situation or financial whatever with the government, or there are people that are just like, where they live there's a lot of hurricanes or flooding or inclement weather of some kind, or there's a bazillion reasons why somebody would either be a prepper or just be prepared like myself. And I can give you guys examples. The dock strike. And I want to point out that it has been suspended. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's all done and said for forever. We've had different things with elections come up that were kind of scary. And I'm just talking about like in recent years. Recessions, again, things that are completely out of our control, like that have to do with the outside world. But then there's also things within our home that can happen. So again, job loss, significant other passes away, you and a significant other break up, all sorts of different reasons. And again, guys, this is not about fear. This is about being prepared. It is not going to hurt anybody to have a couple extra $1,000s in the bank. It's not going to hurt anybody to have a couple extra packs of TP in your house just in case, okay? And you can do it little by little. If you grocery shop once a week or once a month or bi-weekly or whatever it is, have a budget and buy extra things with that. Even if it's $5. Okay, I go grocery shopping twice a month. I am going to dedicate $5 each shopping trip to extra, whether it's canned goods, toothpaste, shampoo, laundry detergent, toilet paper, whatever it might be, okay? And you want to have a place in your house where you can store it. Now, A lot of people will say, well, I don't have an extra bedroom, or I don't have a basement to dedicate that, or whatever. And I have been telling you guys, I know people that they have a cupboard under their sink in their half bath filled with extra laundry detergent and toothpaste, and that's their stockpile, and that's great. Under beds is a great thing. You can get the boxes like they have at the grocery store that hold the cases of canned goods. You can take those with you. I do it all the time, and you can start filling that up, and then you can slide it under a bed, or slide it under a couch, or slide it under a cabinet. You don't have to necessarily have one centralized location. I mean, I feel like that would be the dream for everybody, if they could just stick it in a room in the basement and close the door and it's just there. But for most people, that's not really realistic. Even if people have a big house, they probably have it, filled with people or things, or, and people are so much about aesthetics. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but they're not going to want a bunch of canned food just hanging out, and I get that, so you might have to get creative. That junk drawer in your, dresser, might have to clean that out and start putting canned goods in it. Whatever it is that you've got to do. And you only want to get things that your family will use and need, okay? I love rice and beans. Brandon loves rice and beans. We eat them all the time. So having rice and beans is important to us. One, it's very cheap. It's very budget friendly. We thoroughly enjoy rice and beans, and they have a long shelf life. Very versatile. But if you do not like rice and beans, please do not buy rice and beans. There are so many other things that you can do. You can get tuna. You can get cans of soup. Heck, even ramen noodles. If you like ramen noodles, even a little bit, I would always suggest getting ramen noodles. They are super cheap, don't take up a lot of space, super filling, super versatile. You should not be eating them all the time. I recognize that because of the sodium, of course. But it's not going to hurt anybody to have like a pack of ramen noodles just in case. Whatever it is that you and your family like and enjoy and will eat, you want to have, okay? Not just that, but you want to rotate out your stock. Super, super important. First in, first out. So if I bought this can of soup 6 months ago and this other can of soup yesterday, we're eating the one that we bought 6 months ago. So you constantly want to have it rotating. Same thing with shampoos, conditioners, laundry detergents, anything of that nature. You want to be rotating it out. So that is why I like the idea of a working pantry. That's what I call it. Now, I call my coupons a stockpile just because that's what I like to call them. But my actual food and pantry items, I refer to more as a working pantry. So some of these things are supposed to last me long term, but what I'll do is if I have a bunch of beans, those beans are not just sitting there and then I'm buying new beans to use for meals right now. No, I'm using those beans. Let's say I've used 3 cans of beans for chili. Next shopping trip, those 3 cans of beans get replaced. The older ones get pushed forward, the new ones get put back, and we're constantly going like this. Nothing in this house goes to waste as far as food. Very, very little. Do you know what I mean? Just like scraps, basically. We never have just canned food or anything of that nature that's just sitting until crap hits the fan. That's not what we do around here. It's a working pantry, okay? So you put that pantry to work. And again, you can do this on a budget, you can do this over time, but there is a million reasons why everybody should have a stockpile. And you get to decide what's in your stockpile, you get to decide what is valuable to you, but please, please, please do not buy crap that you and your family will not eat. And I know some people are like, yeah, but if it really was the apocalypse, then you would eat rice and beans even if you hate rice and beans, and that's true, but that's why we're not thinking about it from that standpoint. I'm gearing it more towards job loss or, you know, something like that. And in all reality, if something happened, I know that Brandon and I would be okay for a while. And it brings me comfort, it brings me joy, and I like knowing that I have taken care of him and taken care of myself, all on a budget. None of this was built with debt or fear. It was just, this is how I do things. And this has nothing to do with the pandemic. This has nothing to do with the recent strike. I have literally done this since I've been living on my own since I was 19. And there was that little bit of time when I did live with my parents during my divorce, but pretty much from 19 till now, I've had my own apartments, and this is what I've always done. I really wish I would have started a YouTube video when I had my first apartment back in the day, because you guys would see that. I bought stuff on sale in mass quantities. I had a very, very small grocery budget, and I never went without. But I always had stuff on hand. So that is my 2 cents. I hope that you guys got something out of this, and really encourage you guys to think about it. Just like you need to have a financial emergency fund, it's a really great idea to have an emergency fund in the form of a stockpile. It does not have to be huge, does not have to be massive, doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be built tomorrow. Okay, so just some words of wisdom. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel. If you did not know, I have an Instagram, The Frugal Life with Mercedes. Until next time, guys, bye.